I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
Stunned.
I did not think that Coach K would ever go back to the Dylan Brooks days. I really didn't. I thought when Dylan Brooks happened, he said to himself, wait a second, I can't chase down the player on the opposing team that's beating me. And
remind everybody what the Dylan Brooks situation was. I mean, like I know most people listening know.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember this, Oregon, Dylan Brooks playing in Oregon, they're playing in the NCAA tournament. Oregon is waxing Duke, poetic.
Yes.
And Dylan Brooks is letting anyone within range hear how he feels about waxing Duke poetic. Coach K is within earshot. And then basically reprimands him after the game, says, you're better than this.
Yes.
You're better than this
yes.
was the exact quote. He says he never says that. Dylan Brooks, after the game, confirms that is exactly what he said to him. There's a tape of Coach K. You can read his lips. He goes, you're better than this. You're better than this. So that all happens. And
the ultimate irony being that Dylan Brooks was basically his career at Oregon. He was basically the Grayson Allen of the West Coast.
Yes.
Is what he was tripping guys. He was starting shit with other fan base. Like he was. If you paid attention to Pac-12 basketball, the way people felt about Grayson Allen, the people in the Pac-12 felt that way about Dylan Brooks.
Absolutely.
And then now Coach K is pointing his finger.
Which was why it was hilarious because Coach K had indefinitely suspended Grayson for tripping. And then a guy who was in the same sort of world as Grayson Allen does this to his team, and then he has something to say about it. He's upset about the way he behaves, yet not able to see it on his own team and address that. So that was the irony of the situation. We all laughed. We all moved on. We thought this would never happen again. There's no way this will ever happen again until Georgia Tech, the welder, came to town to Cameron Indoor. All things are going okay. Duke's up in this game. It's a little tighter than you'd expect, but Duke's up in this game. And Georgia Tech makes a little run. And Coach K decides to stop this run, as he's prone to do. He's going to call timeout. 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 And as he's doing that, and he's doing the T for timeout, Michael DeVoe, guard for Georgia Tech, points at K, points at the bench. I think he points at K. Basically say, like, gotcha. They're calling timeout. They're worried. They're scared.
That's what it was.
Maybe said something.
Yeah.
But he pointed. And K snapped. Just like that. The Coach K that we all know and love came back to light. And he decided, not only am I going to have to address this situation, I'm going to have to chase this man down. and Coach K, it's the fastest he's moved in 5 years. He's going after Michael DeVoe, which is, I think, good news if you're a believer like I am that he's going to come back next year. Looks spry. He's going after DeVoe. DeVoe gets out of the way. Ref intervenes. Now K's, lambasting the ref. And it was just a moment of, one, clarity, and two, shock.
Yeah.
I was shocked to see this, but also at the same time, I felt like we got the real Coach K back.
How did this happen? How did DeVoe is just basically saying, that's your interpretation. Gotcha. Like whatever. Do we know what he said? Did he say what he said?
I think he sees Coach K call timeout, which means they're trying to stop a run of ours.
Yeah.
AKA, y'all got to call a timeout to stop me. I'm too hot. Take that. It's kind of like the takeaway that I got. Again, I'm just reading body language situation.
I'll defend K because I'm very impartial when it comes to Coach K. I definitely will. I see both sides. You know this. I guess like a guy talking to your bench, like I don't love it. I wouldn't love it. I wouldn't love it either.
Pointing at my coach, I don't love.
I wouldn't love it.
Yeah.
If I was Coach K, wouldn't love it. If I was Coach K, I also one thing I wouldn't do is like run onto the court and try to fight another player.
Which is
I
amazing.
wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
So that's where he loses me. I guess like I don't know. Like I guess
he could have been the victim. He could have been like, look at this player who is showing no respect to me in my final season. He has no respect for the game. He has no respect for the Duke basketball program. He has no respect for
other people say
Indoor.
that. Don't say anything. Step back. Let the moment speak for itself. Yes. And then all of us, maybe we're doing the show.
And I'm saying Michael DeVoe, bad guy.
More respect. Where's your respect?
Yeah.
Michael DeVoe.
And that's where we were.
Yeah.
Until Coach K, it hit him so quickly. Like it washed over him so quickly. Like he went immediately from timeout, stop this run, to, did he just do what I think he did? You know what I mean? He did. He did. Is Wayne Brady going to have to choke somebody? Like that was the moment for Coach K, and he was immediately gone.
It kind of is the one thing he could not do is score.
It was like quite literally if John Shire and Nolan Smith had a meeting before the season with Coach K, I think they had like do's and don'ts. And I think
the farewell
might have had like 2 over here. And number 1 was don't limbass or chase a player. You know what I mean? Don't chase down a player or threaten a player this season.
The Coach K farewell tour. So Duke goes on pause, a COVID pause for a little bit of time. They are now back, obviously. And now that they have resumed playing, the Coach K farewell tour could not be more lined up any more perfectly.
Yes.
That Duke has not won a regular season ACC title in 12 years. The ACC is horrible. We might talk about it later. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we might not even talk about it.
Let's never talk about it.
Let's never talk about the ACC.
Throw it away.
The ACC is horrible.
Yes.
Duke is the one shining light if you're in the ACC offices that you're like, thank God we have Duke, because if we didn't have Duke, we'd have nothing.
Kind of like you're at Azkaban and you're like, thank God we had the Dementors. You know what I mean? At least we got something.
Yes. It's all lining up for Duke. And Duke has a team good enough to win a national title. It's not just about the ACC race. It's that Paolo Banchero could go number 1 potentially, could win National Player of the Year. Wendell Moore might be an All-American. You could theoretically have 2 first-team All-Americans playing for Duke right now. It is all lined up.
And the ACC Freshman of the Year and Trevor Keels.
That's right.
I think they should split up all the awards.
Trevor Keels wins Freshman of the Year. Paolo Banchero wins ACC Player of the Year. Wendell Moore wins National Player of the Year.
Bang.
Boom. That could happen. That's the world we're living in. And all Coach K has to do is just like step back. Just kind of like let it happen. Like the machine has been built. Let the machine go and just kind of watch. Just let it go. The media is going, as we've said, like Billis, who has been impartial, and I genuinely think Jay has done an awesome job his whole career of like calling Duke games. He'll call Duke Carolina and he'll praise Carolina at times, and he's been that way. This year throws that out the window. he's going to do 7 sit-down interviews with K.
Yeah.
Like we all saw where this was going, and the only thing K has to do is just not point his finger in the face of opposing players and create a situation where guys like you and I can shit on him in his final season. Which maybe you're right. Maybe he's coming back. Maybe he's like, the Coach K farewell tour did not go as I wanted. Maybe Duke does not get tested the way, maybe like everyone's sucking in the ACC. We talked about this. Maybe they're not tested. Maybe they lose in the second round because like they haven't played a real team all season. And Coach K looks at everything and is like, you know what? Let's try that again.
Yeah.
This time I need more praise and I need a better
more bowing. I need more bowing, more praise, more all the above. I think the craziest part of this whole exchange is because it is very Dylan Brooks in the sense that Coach K never addressed this.
Yeah.
In his press conference. Right. He never says anything about this.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to the journalists at Duke. No one asked him about it. They like let him slide on it, so he doesn't even get asked, so he doesn't even have to address it. And then on the flip side of that, Josh Pastner and Michael DeVoe are asked the questions about the incident. Michael DeVoe grew up a Duke fan. So he comes out and says that. He's like, look, I grew up a Duke fan. My emotions got a little high. I kind of just snapped for a second, and then they asked him, they said, what did Coach K say to you? And Coach K obviously says he didn't say anything. People around him, Coach K said nothing. Michael DeVoe says, he said, you don't know who you're talking to. That was the quote. You don't know who you're talking to, as he chases him down on the court. So it's not only the action of it, it's like exactly what you expect, according to Michael DeVoe, what you expect him to be saying, which is basically like, you're talking to the GOAT.
Yeah, the GOAT. Yeah.
And we do not take kindly to that, and I am going to make sure that you hear about this.
So I'll defend K again, and maybe that's not what he said. Maybe Michael DeVoe. I don't know. You got to hear both sides, right? So like, who knows if that's what?
Well, we will never hear the other side. So I'm telling you the one side that is spoken about.
But what I would say is, I'm not sure what K could have said if K didn't say that. If Michael DeVoe's lying and he's trying to make himself look better, which I don't know the story. I'm just devil's advocate here. What could K have said where you're like, oh, okay, in that case, I get it? The answer is like nothing.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.